Hi, didn't see you there. No, I'm joking. What was I gonna say? Hey guys, welcome back to the Culture Based TikTok. I've not been live on here for absolutely ages. I'm just gonna rub this on my hair first. What I'm gonna be doing today is plaiting my hair. And putting aloe vera in it because it's so dry. I went to sleep yesterday without plaiting it and I regret it. But what I was gonna say was I'm gonna be answering some questions today about waist beads, about why we make waist beads, why we sell waist beads, and things that you could potentially use them for. So I've got a bunch of questions to my left on my laptop. And yeah, I'm just gonna go from there. I am wearing 2 custom beads that I made for myself at the Valentine's pop-up shop. So last Saturday I was in Canary Wharf at the Garden Cafe, and oh my god guys, last time I got my braids done, it pulled out the front of my hair, so I'm getting a trim for my birthday. But yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see what this gonna look like. I'll see what that's gonna look like I haven't been bowled 4 times. And now we're off track. So, but to be fair, I just want this to be like discussion based. Please don't mind the crisp of my comb in my hair, please. I really didn't want to plait it last night. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning or something crazy like that. The first question says, what is cultured waist? And so cultured waist, as I would describe it, we're a waist bead company that focuses on emotional healing through empowerment, specifically through self-love, body positivity and confidence. And so all that means is that, like, by working on how you feel about yourself, it helps you to shift your perspective on things that you've been through, things that you're going through, or things that you want to do in the future. And that's what it's all about. Unfortunately, I'm not inviting any co-host today because I'm talking about the company, but y'all come back when I'm doing a workshop though. I'm just gonna have to ignore them. Cool. The next question says, what are waist beads used for? And so this question has like thousands of answers, because it depends on the woman you ask. It depends on where she comes from and how it was introduced to her. Her culture and tribe. Beads are used completely differently all over the world. They're sometimes used in divination practices, like readings, trying to tell anything from the weather to the future. And then they're also obviously just used as jewelry too. And I'd say where we'll start with what waist beads are used for is I'll go off of my journey. So when I was 16, I went to Nigeria and my friend asked me to get her some waist beads. And so I asked a relative of mine, what are waist beads for? And she basically told me it was to attract your husband. So it was just a tool of seduction. And so I wasn't really that interested. Plus the beads that I had got from my friends, they were made from wire and they did not fit me. And I was a bit upset. I was like size maybe 16 then, even 14, yeah, but my dad used to buy my clothes in size 20. We'll tell that story why another day. But it used to make me feel really insecure, and everyone around that time started telling me to lose weight as well. But it was actually after a traumatic event, and I never pieced those 2 things together when I started putting, oh no, it wasn't, oh no, it was. Oh goodness. But yeah, it was introduced to me as something that you wear to please your counterpart. And then when I started doing my own research, specifically reading Sacred Woman by Queen Afua, she spoke about the ancient uses and practices, and obviously doing some more research about tribes in Ghana and just beads all over Africa, to be honest. And it was all about adornment. Specifically in Kemet, for like the goddesses, they would wear their beads to not even show other people that they love themselves, which is why you don't have to show your waist beads. It was literally just about loving yourself in the first place, understanding how your body is connected to the universe, and kind of using your emotions as a navigation system. And so that's why our waist beads are focused in emotional healing, because for a lot of people, they're disconnected from how they feel, from the things that they really want. And that could be for a number of reasons. That could be I was gonna say sacrifice, but I feel like when you sacrifice something and you end up with something you don't want, then that's settling, not sacrifice. And sometimes life calls for you to settle. You don't always get to have things your way, but it is very much about just being able to say, I'm not happy about this. Do you know how funny that is? Sorry guys, I shaved my armpit, but I forgot the bottom. Anyway, too much information. I'm just laughing because Yasin's gonna absolutely be like, what is going on here? Cool. I was talking about waist beads and self-adornment and emotional healing, and being able to maybe honoring your emotions is like a step way further down the line. The first step is just to identify them. And for a lot of us, like when I was growing up, you could ask me what's wrong, and I would be so down, I would be so mad, and everyone would know because it would change the whole mood of the room. And I'll be like, I don't know. I don't know. Why are you asking me? Why, like, I just never knew how to answer that question. And then I think through reading, through speaking to people, so working on my communication, writing, and then also things like the emotional role that they have on TikTok and things like that. Things like that helped me to understand how I was feeling better. And so that, once I was able to do that, like first you identify it, then you understand it, then that gives you at least a little wiggle room to do something about it. And that doesn't mean that we can change everything, because we can't. That's just the nature of life. But it does mean that you can choose how to respond to it because you understand how you feel. A lot of people do things and don't even, why did you do that, or can't weigh up the rationality of a choice because of that disconnect with their emotions. And so that's what waist beads are for over here. But other uses for waist beads, you can use them to shape your waist. I had a friend that started wearing waist beads a couple of years ago when I started, and her body over time shifted. And it wasn't because her waist beads were particularly tight, because she had elastic waist beads the same as me. I use elastic for all of my waist beads, unless you specifically request that you want string. But yeah, you can use it to shape your body. You can also use it for weight management. So if you want to know if you're losing weight or gaining weight, basically, okay, I'll show you guys now. If I show you how bloated my belly is, my beads are gonna raise up because there's more thing. But if I suck in my stomach, they're gonna drop down. And so that's how a lot of people use them to manage their weight or changes in their weight as well, just from literally where they're hanging. And yeah, stuff like that. Not me becoming self-conscious about my body. And I was saying to myself today, like, it's been a really long time since I felt self-conscious about my body, but it was easy to just be like, well, I know why my body looks like this right now, because I wasn't doing so well, and I was actually having like another episode of my eating disorder. I don't know, I was doing well and then I wasn't for a day, and then I threw up, and now I feel a bit better. But I think that my beads defo helped me to love and embrace myself, and that's why I made myself these new beads on Valentine's. The whole thing of like, I saw galantines everywhere. Even the pop-up store that I did, it was a galantine store, so it was all, other than Nigel, it was all female business owners. And then yeah, I made these there on the day, and I've never made a bead like this before, and I just wanted it has no seed beads on it. I just wanted like a chunky bead to be significantly there, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna stand up 1 second. So we got this one with the seed beads on, and then I'll put like these beads in the middle. But this one is just completely like charms and bigger beads. And so that's what I was saying about, like, look at me sucking in my stomach for dear life. When I feel subconscious about my belly, I like to look at it and just be like, my belly is so much more than what it looks like. How does it feel? I didn't mention being bloated, so it doesn't feel that great, but at least I'm being honest about how it feels so I can do stuff about it. So I had a juice this morning. It was carrot, ginger, turmeric, and apple. And yeah, back to talking about waist beads. So, are your waist beads size inclusive? Yes, they are. We make all of our waist beads 1 meter long. I have like, I'm gonna give you guys a sneak peek of our new collection. We got some zodiac waist beads coming. So let's see how well I know my zodiac. Of course I know Pisces because it's Pisces season and I'm a Pisces and we're just the best ever. So we got like the color of the zodiac and then some actual beads with the signs on them, and then other beads that represent the color. So the color for Pisces was like seafoam green or something. I don't think I actually had seafoam green, so I went for a sea color and then I used green on the additions. You know, you have to be creative and use what you have. Then we have, that's not Libra. Guys, I don't know the rest of the signs. Oh, but I can find them. It's not that hard. One sec. Zodiac. Is it in here? Yeah. Is it in here? Yes. So then we have, this is oh, you can't even see it, but this is what I use to use the colors for the zodiac collection. Again, I've only made 6 of them, but we have Libra. Oh, I was right, this is Libra, but I don't know why I was looking for scales. So Libra is pink. Then we have Taurus. I think this is Taurus. Yeah, it is. And Taurus is green. So this is the Taurus bead. And then we have the one that looks like Pisces, Gemini. I didn't even deep how similar the Pisces and Gemini thingy is. It's just that one has 1 in the middle, one has 2. But the Gemini color is yellow. So this is our Gemini bead. And then the next one is orange, and it is for Leo. So this is our Leo bead. I don't even feel like I'm showing you guys these beads properly. I'm so sorry. And then the final one that I've made so far is black, and that is Scorpio. And I'm Scorpio rising, so probably gonna end up with a little seafoam green and black combo at some point. I just got one of my favorite, the bats on there. But yes, that's the zodiac collection, which is coming soon, very soon to you guys. But I actually picked up these beads to show you that we make them all in 1 meter, and so you can wrap it around either once, or if it goes around more than once. But like I said, 60 inches is enough for anyone to wear waist beads. And that was the whole point, because like I said, when I started making them, everyone was body shaming me, and I was only 16, and I was like, you guys need to get off my ass. So I started talking online about body confidence, and here we are. Nobody can tell me nothing except myself. So yeah. So the next question says, what materials are used in your waist beads? So I can actually use some of the beads that I was showing you guys as an example. We have the actual seed beads themselves are glass. Then some of them are acrylic. For example, gems like this. I'll show you some that are not black so you can see them properly. And these ones as well, like the letters, the numbers, most of them are acrylic, I'll be honest. And then we have some that are like flowers, different icons. They're acrylic. I'm trying to stop using so much plastic, honestly, but a lot of beads are plastic. But we do also have clay beads, and so the bat that I just showed you guys is made out of clay. Oh, I'm like, where'd the bat go? It's here. And if I show y'all some of the beads, let me show you one of my favorite beads. I think this is acrylic too though, so it doesn't actually show what I'll just show you about the clay beads. But yeah, it's these. They're like these flowers, and then they got colors in the middle. But I have some clay beads on me now, and I just started using these round ones. I'm gonna have to take this off. No, I made one. It's in the bag. Okay guys, give me 2 seconds. I'm back with my goodie bag of beads. And so this is the bead. This is like the one I made after I made my own one. So there's only one of these. There's only one of all of them, to be fair. But what I was gonna say was these beads. These are clay as well. And then I've got quite a few clay beads in my collection, to be fair, but those are the materials. So we had glass, acrylic, clay. I think that's it. But we also can do wooden beads as well. Like I've done some beads with them. I like those. And then our crystals, that's the most important thing. So the crystals that we used are semi-precious. So a lot of them are replicated. But if you would like genuine crystals, we can do those for you as well. They're just a little bit more expensive. So we're like the new crystal beads that will come on will be $17.99. But I'm trying to find one of the past ones. Here I go. Here I go. This is a tiger's eye waist bead, and these are semi-precious. And so these would more be around the price of a classic waist bead or a flag waist bead. So either $9.99 or $12.99. But we will see. But yeah, I'm literally finding sources of genuine crystals now. The only thing is that they're so big, but then because I'm like slowly, like I forgot that I'm not the only person gonna wear the beads. And I've always for years stuck to these like thinner bead structures. So when I see crystals that are like that big, I'm like, how am I gonna put it on a waist bead? But somebody will wear it. And even if they don't wear it, well, we'll get into the rest of the questions before I go into that. So we did what materials. Are your waist beads water or fireproof? So yes, our waist beads are waterproof. You can wear them in the shower, you can wear them in the pool, you can wear them in the bath, you can wear them in water. In terms of fireproof, the elastic is flammable, as with most beading elastics, as with most stringing materials, is what I was trying to say. And then the other thing that I learned is when I use my hot water bottle repeatedly on my waist beads, it weakens the elastic. So there's been times before where I've put my hot water bottle on, and then because the elastic's been weakening over time and I did not know, the whole bead has just bust. And I'm like, what? Huh? What's going on? But it was like by the third time that happened, which 3 times in 6 years is not bad, but I only started using hot water bottle really like last year. But anyway, yeah, it will burst your elastic, so just be careful how close you put it to your stomach. I would show you guys now, but my hot water bottle yesterday just popped a hole and hot water started going everywhere. It was a mess. But what was I gonna say? If I'm gonna put my hot water bottle like in my belly area, I'll either move my beads up to like here, I'll move them down below my waist. Look, you guys can see the line of where they were. But that is what I would do. The next question says, do you offer custom waist beads? So yes, we have beads galore here. I'm actually going to take you guys over. I hope that it's not too dark. Should be alright, to be fair. Just to show you some of the beads that we got. Well, a lot of them are in here. So there's like most of the seed beads, some big gems, and then all are like, what do I even call these? Because they're not actually charms. They don't hang down. They're just additions. And then we have, what I was actually trying to show you guys is this thing over here. So in here we have zodiac signs, letters, numbers. Then we've got some other stuff as well. It's actually really dark here. This is terrible. But I just wanted to show you guys some of the range of what we've got. There's some more beads in here. There are some more beads in here. These are emojis. So like smiley faces. There's some not smiley faces in there as well. These are like sports balls. So we've got football, not crazy eights, pool, rugby, tennis ball. There's loads of stuff in there. We've got the evil eye beads in here. So that was an accident. But these but these, and then in the last one, I feel like we had flowers and they all fell out. We have flowers and they're not all falling out. But I'm gonna take you back to where we're supposed to be right now. And I know I dropped a bead, but it's gone. In this business, you have to be prepared to lose many beads and hair on the floor all the time. That was my impression of beads dropping on the floor, by the way. Anyway, I digress. We took a break to answer if I offer custom waist beads, and yes I do. I also offer a before I stop, we have a menu on, not on Temu, on Pinterest. We have a menu on Pinterest where you can see all of the beads that we have available and all of the colors, and so you can choose your custom out of that, or you can show us an example of a bead that you want us to recreate, or you can show us beads that you like from online or something. Now the other thing I was gonna say is, if you have a waist bead that you've had already and it broke, because the thing with a lot of traditional waist beads is that they're made on string material, one, and two, they're put on so that you don't take them off. And so if you want to repurpose your bead, so put it on elastic, or add a clasp or repair a broken bead, we also offer that service, and you can book it via our WhatsApp business page, or I think you can book it on Etsy as well. So that's customs and reviews. I need a tea break, but the next question is gonna be, do waist beads have healing properties? And this is where we get into the juice, because I was speaking about the uses earlier, and I think I only spoke about self-adornment and like emotional connection, seduction, aphrodisiac, and like weight management or waist shaping. There's still so many more than that, to be fair. And I've multi-purpose used my waist beads for like other forms of jewelry. So I've bunched them up to make a bracelet, or I've used them as a headband before. You can wear them as a belt, all of these things. But in terms of if they have healing properties themselves, I say that it's about the energy you put into it. So it's about what they mean to you. Every person who orders a waist bead with me gets a little card that looks like this. And so on one side it says cultured waist, be confident, be beautiful, be cultured. And then on the other side, it says my waist bead affirmation. My waist beads are a reminder of that. And here is where you get to write down what it means to you, because all of us are on this journey of improving ourselves, personal development, wanting to be the best version of ourselves and better than yesterday. But I can't tell you who you need to be because you know who you were yesterday. My challenges are going to be different to yours, as well as my strengths are going to be different to yours. And so the whole point of waist beads is about embracing our individuality and our uniqueness, and knowing that that is more than okay. That is more than possible, even, that we can be different. You don't have to fit in. You don't have to feel like strange for being out of the cloud. So do waist beads, I lost the question, so do waist beads have healing properties if you want them to help you heal? Because I have beads that I've made just because they're pretty, and then I've had beads that I've made because there's a specific area within myself that I want to grow. For example, it could be in confidence, it could be in saying no, it could be in setting boundaries, it could be in anything. And so I'll make a waist bead that represents that for me, and that helps me to heal, because not only can I look at it and remember why I put it on my waist, it's like in a moment's time, let's say I'm in a meeting, I can literally y'all gonna see me fiddling with my waist beads if I'm like uncomfortable, if I feel like I'm I don't know, it's just a habit. But it is a confidence thing, because it's around my stomach area, which is where your solar plexus is, which is where confidence comes from. So yes, they do, but the healing power is actually within you. The waist beads is just a tool that you can channel that energy into, just like you might have a special toy or a special blanket. Well, that's normally children that have that, but me too, I have my toys and my blanket. My blanket is next door and all my teddy bears are but that's just me. So the next question is, do waist beads guarantee healing results? 1 second. I'm gonna say no to the guarantee, because again, it's on you to understand yourself. And so I'll give you guys an example. There's been times where my waist bead is broken, and I know, sorry, that's lemon tea, by the way, so it's just working my digestive system. Anyway, what was I gonna say? I'm really embarrassed. Okay. Does it guarantee healing? Again, the responsibility is on you. And I was talking about when my waist beads have broken in the past, and I know that it's because I don't even know how to describe what I wasn't. I would say I wasn't myself, in the sense of I was rushing. I wasn't balanced. That's the answer. Because I was rushing and I was overwhelmed, and I didn't really see that. And so for me to just snap my waist beads, it kind of shows me, oh, Ebony, maybe take a second to meditate. Maybe take a second. It's like a tool to help healing, but it's not the thing that does the healing itself, if that makes sense. And so what was I gonna say? Oh, a lot of women come to me and say that they broke their beads while they was going to the toilet because they was just rushing to pull their trousers down. And I've been in that situation so many times, and it is that thing again of being so on the go and so in a rush that you literally just pull. And that kind of teaches you. It's like when you try and farm. It teaches you how not gentle you're being with yourself, essentially. Because when I went to Dr. Fire's farm and he was telling me to pick this and do this and do that, he's like, Ebony, why are you being so rough with the plants? And I'm like, I don't know. But it's because I was used to being in a high pressure, high I guess, time limit, just quite a restricted situation that forced me to go. So when I've gone to the farm, I'm doing what he's asked me to do, but I'm still going. And so, like, obviously it's different farming and working with plants to go into the toilet and putting your trousers down and accidentally busting your waist beads. But when you think about these beads, they stretch quite a lot, by the way. And so when you think about how quickly you have to pull to snap, it does, like, represent where you are in your own stillness, essentially. And not everyone has the time to be still, but your waist beads are a reminder of that, of how am I doing, how am I feeling, just to touch yourself and say, and so yeah, that's kind of the answer to that. Do you offer workshops or programs? I do not have any programs at the moment, not under the Wasted Project, but we do offer a workshop. And so in 2021, I was invited by Heritage Crafts and Creative Lives in Coventry to run a webinar about waist beads and confidence, and then also a workshop. And from there, it set me off. I don't know how many I've done since then, to be honest. I should maybe count. It will probably be something like 20, because during that period of time we had City of Culture, and so there was a lot of opportunities to do the workshop. And then I was invited to, like, Watford, and I've done a few in London, but I haven't, like, fully taken this public yet. And so I guess now's the opportunity to, in the waist bead workshop, we also do a waist bead workshop on TikTok Live, so you guys should come to that first if you ever consider coming to one of our workshop events, or even booking your own private session, because you can. So let's do this in order. What is the workshop? It's an opportunity for you to make a waist bead, but also to explore how you embody self-love, body positivity, and confidence in your own life. What's your relationship like with it? How has it been introduced to you, and how do you engage with it? Are you intentional about it, or is it something that just kind of passes you by? Because when I was at the market stall the other day, I tried to do a campaign for social media, and I asked one of the store holders, what gave you the confidence? I actually asked three. I asked, what gave you the confidence to come today and sell? And they were all like, I have no idea. Like, it wasn't something that they thought about in terms of, okay, I'm going to go to this market and I'm going to give it my best, and I trust that why I'm doing what I'm doing is going to communicate well and all of these things. Like, that wasn't a thought process. And that's not shaming them. That's not saying that they're bad people, bad business people. Again, it just goes to show how much we do without actually considering the fact that, hey, it took confidence for me to do this, and celebrating that within ourselves. I think we focus a lot on the result, as opposed to, I showed up today and I did this for me. And it doesn't have to be you running your own business. It can just be you showing up for yourself in whatever regard that you feel you need to. And so, the workshop. We discuss waist beads and their origin. We go through self-love, body positivity, and confidence, and share different ways in which we each may do things that make us feel more of those. And then you basically, by the end, will be able to have the waist bead that you've made, but also fill out your affirmation card of, this is what this waist bead represents for me. And again, you don't have to wear it. You might hang it up. You might keep it under your pillow. You might only use it when you're meditating, and just charge it with that energy of self-love, confidence, and body positivity. The same way you would charge a crystal, I would say to charge your waist beads. And so that's what we do in the workshop. And yeah, if you guys want to find out more about that, there is information on the Cultured Waste portfolio link, which can be found via the Ebony Omolara Enterprises portfolio link. So if you just click on Cultured Waste, it will take you to the page. And then if you click on the Wasted Project, there's everything on there. There's about waist beads. You can get our book, Healing with Waist Beads. You can get, what else can you get? you can see the pop-ups that we've done, the workshops that we've done. You can look at our merchandise. You can see featured interviews and stuff that we've done. All of that lovely stuff. The next question is, are our waist beads adjustable? And so, no, but yes, because remember that every waist bead comes in 1 meter. I'm not even going to use this one because if I just break it now, I'll be upset. Cool. Let's pick from my goodie bag. We're going to go for a red classic. So what I need to do is put a clasp in all of these beads. Because like we said, they come 1 meter long. You measure around yourself. You cut it where you want to. We have a tutorial video to show you how to do that. And what you can do is tie your clasp on to be able to tie it on and off. Once you've cut it and tied it on, that's kind of it for your waist bead. Unless you lose weight and so you can like cut it down again and attach the clasp on again. The other thing you would have to do is open it up and attach more string on if you've lost weight, but then you'll need more beads and stuff. So I'd either recommend getting new beads, or you can send it for a repair service, but again that depends, because if it needs more beads, we can discuss that, to be fair. Like, let's say for example you get pregnant but you don't want to change your waist bead, we can extend that bead for you. Even though I'd recommend getting a new bead and then putting another one on after. But wait, where are we in the questions? Are they adjustable? I already answered this. It's because I want to go into talking about how often... Oh my god. My laptop keeps doing that. Cool. You can... I recommend... So remember I was talking about what waist beads are used for, and I was talking about emotional healing, and if I'm working on something within myself at the moment, once I've kind of mastered that lesson, you know, found the wisdom and I've actually moved on from it, I feel like it's time to let it go. What I used to do was at the end of a relationship, change my waist bead, but I haven't been in a relationship for a very long time. So if that was the only reason I changed my waist bead, basically, I wouldn't have changed it. So I try to change them in seasons. So that's why I changed it on the 14th of February, because that was the day when I kind of decided, okay, Ebony, we moved out like 5 months ago, and it's been really rocky since. I've been hit by a car, I've been this, I've been that. I don't want to waste another precious day of my life sitting in my misery, being upset, especially to do with my abuse and stuff. Obviously not everyone knows my story, but this is why I do waist beads in the first place, because I experienced a lot of child sexual abuse. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word on here, but that from the age of 3 till about 25, and I'm 26, I'm gonna be 27 next month. And that was really hard for me to face and confront. I didn't really have emotional support around me. So again, it's so weird to me, because yes, I was sitting in my misery and I stopped myself from doing a lot of the things that I wanted to do. Oh, that's why. I was doing other stuff that I didn't really want to do. But anyway, making these waist beads was to signify the end of that pattern for me and give me permission to start anew. And sometimes that's all that we need. Like, it doesn't have to be the new year, it doesn't have to be my birthday, it doesn't have to be like this big major thing happen. Maybe it's just today I had enough, and so I need a waist bead to help me set into this new season of my life. And that setting into a new season of your life requires confidence and it requires trust. And that is why I would say, and you have to navigate your emotions as well, 100%, especially when things are changing. So that's when I normally go to make a new bead, or recommend that people should change their beads anyway. But in a lot of tribes and conditions, they give you one bead to wear for a really long time. But if I'm looking back into tradition, and it's not all entirely falsehoods, but some of the things that we've raised to believe is where our value is. For example, beauty and the emphasis on the external. I know that a lot of people would have made string waist beads in one size so that they never change. I know people who their husbands say, listen, if you lose weight, if you gain weight, if you lose weight, if you whatever, if you change physically, I'm out of here. And we don't have enough time today to address that. But the point is that nobody should be made to feel like they need to stay stuck in one version of themselves, physically or emotionally, ever. Like, that's not something you do, baby. But that is the reason why I changed my waist beads, and that is the reason why the answer to the question is no, they're not adjustable. But you can adjust them when you first get them, and then after that it's set. The only one I would say that is actually adjustable though is the butterfly one, and that's because it comes with a chain. And so I think that one only comes up to like 35 or 40 inches. But I bought chain and I learned how to attach extra chain so we can make it 1 meter. So when I put the butterfly ones on, if you need a 1 meter bead, please let me know. I might just add a comment or something. Or make it a separate product and just add like £1 or something. But yeah, cool. Where are we? Can I wear them every day? Yes, you can. See, I just finished talking about when you should change them. But yeah, you can literally wear them every day. You don't have to. What I'm learning about the chunky ones is sometimes when I'm lying on my side, it would like to press. And so I have to move it around. You can take them off and put them on, especially if you're wearing them as accessories. But what I would say to you, I'm not saying don't shop with me. If you like my beads, shop with me. If you want a custom, shop with me. But there are definitely some cheaper beads out there for you if it is just a fashion accessory. If you are more into the emotional healing side of it, that's when I would say to come to Cultured Waist, because we want to reinforce the fact that yes, you look so amazing. I don't even care what your body looks like. I haven't seen it and I know you look amazing, because every beauty is undefined. They say it's in the eye of the beholder, and so that is you, because I can't see you with your eyes, if that makes sense. Like, you have to be your biggest cheerleader, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. And I think wearing waist beads definitely helps me to do that. Like, it just makes everything look better, feel better. The beads rubbing together sometimes when I'm shaking waist is beautiful. And it actually used to be an aphrodisiac for African men back in the day. So, you know, that's not benefit too, but it is predominantly about how you feel about yourself. And so, because why do I keep on forgetting the question? Oh, it was literally just, can I wear them every day? Do you deserve to feel self-love every day? Do you deserve to feel positive about your body every day? And do you deserve to feel confident in yourself every day? Yes? Then yeah, you can wear your waist beads every day, because that is the reason why we wear them anyway. So, the next question says, will the beads feel cold when I put them on? I had to make sure this question was in here. Yes. When you're putting new beads onto your body, I don't know why, but they're so cold. So, that's just a little warning. It will be like, ooh. But then straight after that, it warms up and it'll kind of take to your body temperature. Are waist beads for women only? Now, this question is going to get me a lot of controversy. Like, even I was on Reddit the other day trying to find some more questions. And so I'm going to answer, is it for women only? And is it only for black women? No and no. I'm gonna address the black women one first because that one's kind of easier. It's not even that it's hard, I'm just being silly. So a lot of people, well, I would say there's a thin line between cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation. A lot of people can't recognize cultural appreciation, and they're like, this is our thing and only we should have it. But the truth is, like, I feel like my Africanness makes me want to share, especially because the waist beads are for feeling self-love, body positivity and confidence. I can't say that anybody, no matter what your gender, sexuality, race, doesn't deserve to feel those things. So our waist beads are literally for everyone. There are tribes and cultures. I was supposed to say this earlier when it came to uses, I forgot. For example, in some Ghanaian tribes, your beads would show, it would represent your status in society. So certain families would wear certain patterns. In South Africa, they use them as a form of communication. So if a man wanted to court a woman, he would get his female relative to make her a bead and put certain colours and stuff in to send a message. And so a lot of these things are sacred. They're really cool. It was used for communication. It was used for divination. It was used for almost worshipping the woman and her body and what she has the ability to create. And it wasn't just about children. It was about ideas. It was about communities and projects and all of these things, and trusting them to do that. And so that trust is available for everybody, but it starts and it ends with you. It's all a self journey. So I can't say that you qualify or you don't. You get to decide that. I can't tell you what to use your beads for. You get to decide that too. And so from the question of, is it only for black women, to is it only for women, point blank period? No. I've made a waist bead for a male before. I'm not going to bait him out because I don't know if he wants the world to know. But it was really exciting. I didn't even see pictures of him or anything in it. I know he took it on holiday. And to be honest, if you meet him, you might not expect him to wear a bead. And that's one of my favourite things. So, yeah. Love you. Mwah. Are waist beads a medical or therapeutic product? I would say no. There's no, like, you couldn't get prescribed a waist bead. And even in terms of the therapy, it's not the therapy itself, it's the comfort tool that they give you in therapy. It's like the fidget spinner. Especially because of the, like, I didn't even clock that before. You know, when I was saying, like, in a meeting I might start fiddling with my waist beads, that's because of the sensory element. So yeah, that's cool. Never really noticed that. Oh my gosh, I'm dropping the aloe vera all down my back, by the way. Whew. We're nearly finished the questions though. The last question is, what are waist beads? And I kept this one in because even though we answered what are waist beads used for, it's like, what are they actually though? Like, if I was going to give you one concise sentence, it's literally just a form of body jewelry. It's the why and what you use it for, where you'll hear different things. But like I said, at Cultured Waist, it's all about you. It's about being cultured. It's about being confident, and it's about being beautiful. And when we say being cultured, it's about you embracing your own culture. So the last thing I'm going to do is introduce our 4 collections of waist beads. And then I'm going to let you know how we're going to be running it from now on. I'm kind of excited. Cool. So we have the classic collections, which are just like basic beads. Color patterns, sometimes mixes, sometimes plain. Sometimes they're actually customs, but they just don't have anything fancy schmancy on there. So I will show you an example of some classics. We've got this one, and okay, cool. So this will, that's not a classic. That is not even what I picked up at all, by the way. So this will be a classic because it's just a green mix of beads. This would be a classic because it's just plain navy blue. And then this would also be a classic because even though I made it the custom way, so classics are mainly made in our bead spinner, so it will take us less time. But these, I have to put each bead on individually and it takes a bit longer. But the only reason why I've made them classics is because, again, there's no fancy smashy beads on there. For example, like this, where it has the classic mix, but then it's got all these big attractions, you know? So that will move us into, no, it doesn't move us into the next one. But before we get into the customs, we have the flags and levitability for 10 minutes. Okay. I did not know that if you don't add products to your live and you're promoting stuff, they'll ban your live. Okay. And I need to update these prices as well. But calm. Okay, I'm just gonna add these for now. So I was talking about I spoke about the classics. The next one I'm talking about is the flags. And so I can make any flag because, to be honest, there's only like 8 base colors that you need to make all the flags in the world. That came out of nowhere because I grabbed the flag and the first flag that came out was Gambia. So here's some examples of flags. You got Gambia, you got Mauritiana. These are all African flags, by the way, because this is the continent that I started with. You got Cape Verde, you got Madagascar, you got Rwanda, Uganda. But the point is to show you that I can make all the flags. So you can just order it and put in what flag you want, and we can also mix flags on one bead. So I've only done it for myself before. Oh no, that's a lie. I've mixed up with people's flag beads, but I just don't remember right now. But I'm from Sierra Leone and Nigeria, so I've mixed those two on one waist bead before. So if you want more than one, you can put that on as well, but the bead will still just be 1 meter. And then after our flags, with the flags as well, we'll have some other collections. For example, the Zodiac collection that I was showing you guys earlier, that's only 6 signs in. Stay tuned for that. What other collections do we have? Off the top of my head, I don't remember. So that's that. The next type of bead would be the crystal waist beads. So I was speaking about this earlier, where so far the crystals that I have used have been chips, but I'm gonna be getting some bigger waist beads that are genuine. The ones that are chips are semi-precious, so they're often replicas or they're part genuine, and I just want to make sure everybody knows that, which is why I said it's about the energy and the intention that you put into it. But we do have genuine crystals available as well, so if you need that, just make sure you write me a note with your order and say, hey, I ordered the rose quartz waist beads, can you please use genuine crystals? To be honest, actually, because the price is going to be different of whether it's semi-precious or genuine, I will put that in the product title, and yeah, that works better. The final type of bead is customs. So I spoke to you guys earlier about our custom waist bead service and also our repair service. What I was going to say to y'all is every month we are going to be uploading approximately 60 customs to TikTok Shop. And these are one of a kind customs, never going to be made again, because every time I make a bead, I can't make that same bead again the same way, if that makes sense, because it's different beads that go on, different patterns and all of it. Honestly, I just creatively do whatever I'm doing every time. And so what we've got like on the store right now, which I probably should have tagged in the live, is beads like this. We have some beads that are like full. I'm gonna open this one so you can see that properly. We have some customs that are like plainer, so this is just a clear one with some blue beads on there and some white as well. These are beads that I made specifically for Valentine's Day, so they're all pink, white and red. And then what was I gonna say? Oh, thank you guys for liking the live. I literally just finished the Q&A, but that's all right. Where did I put the bead? Because I can see the bag. Oh, it's here. Beads like this as well are going to be coming very, very, very soon. So make sure you guys check out our TikTok shop. Again, on the 1st of every month, I'm going to be releasing 60 new beads. We'll also have a newsletter just to let you guys know that the beads are out. And it's first come, first serve. But if you see a bead you like and it happens to go out of stock, please just screenshot it. And we'll do our best to recreate it for you. So, do you guys want to see some of my beads? Let me know, because I finished my Q&A now. That was all of my questions. And now, there's 143 people in here. I just, honestly, it just happened so randomly. I'm like, should I make beads? Do you guys want to see how I make beads? Someone's going to have to tell me something. I think I'm going to come on and do a waist bead workshop soon. But I'll just show you some of the other stuff I've got, to be fair. Guys, this is one of my favorite beads ever. Like, ever. It's literally, I feel like this is, it doesn't have to be, because again, it's just all of the colors. I didn't even know I put blue at the end. Who puts blue at the end? Ebony, that was so weird. That's supposed to be black. See, this is what I mean. I realized I made a mistake in my pattern, but it just makes the bead even more unique. Yeah, that is it, and that is all. I'm gonna leave you guys now. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching this on a replay on YouTube, thank you so much for watching through. Make sure you check out my waist beads. Check out the book Healing with Waist Beads. Check out, you can get your own toolkit. So you can either get a manual toolkit, which looks like so, and it will come with a tape measure, 20 meters of beading elastic, 3 clasps, some scissors, and a beading needle, a curved beading needle. And then if you get the automatic one, it will also come with an electric bead spinner, so that you can just do your beads quickly. But I would definitely recommend making waist beads. The process is slow and intentional about putting every bead on, and so it's like my own therapy. And even if you don't want to make your own waist beads, then I'll suggest that you get waist beads so that you can start to embody self-love, body positivity, and confidence for yourself. I will see you guys very, very soon for a waist bead workshop. I will definitely announce when I do that live, because I didn't announce this at all. And that is it from me.